Hello and welcome to Math 8, Unit 1B, Lesson 6. Today's objective is scholars will rotate images in the coordinate plane. So what is a rotation? A rotation is simply a turn. We can turn them clockwise. Clockwise is just like a clock goes. You see the arrow, so you sort of see which way to go. Clockwise. Or counterclockwise, which is the opposite of the way the clock goes. If you get confused on which one's which, you can always look up at the clock. Things to remember, the size and the shape stay the same. And it makes a congruent figure. That means the figure is exactly the same. So you'll notice that it actually looks like I literally picked it up and flipped it 180 degrees. This is a 180 degree rotation shown here. So point D rotated around and became point A. Point F rotated around and became point C. Point E rotated around and became point B. So, when we rotate counterclockwise rotation of 90 degrees, you see here's our original figure. I'm going to make this original figure highlighted here so you can see this is the original figure. And we went counterclockwise 90 degrees. Again, counterclockwise, the opposite of the way the clock goes. So, point A became point D, point B became point E, and point C became point F. We could also do the same thing rotating clockwise. Here we rotated clockwise 90 degrees. Here's our original image. And then in this image, point A became point D. Point B became point E, and point C became point F. Okay, so let's try some. When we rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise, when we rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise, think about picking this up and literally turning it 90 degrees. So I'm going to show you real quick what I mean. So let's say I turn this 90 degrees, what it looks like. That's what it's going to look like once I actually do it. But sometimes it's difficult to do that with the image. So let's talk about what we do. So a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation, we're going to take our points, X, Y, are always our points, remember? And it's going to turn into the opposite of my Y value and then my X value. So let's look at where these points are. I have points Y, K, B, and U. Point Y is currently at 4, 3. Point K is currently 5, 3. Point B is currently 5, 0. And point U is currently 2, negative 2. I'm going to take these points, I'm going to flip them, and then make the first value be the opposite of what it was. So, 4, 3 becomes negative 3, 4. Point K becomes negative 3, 5. Point B becomes 0, and that's not going to become negative because there's no negative 0, 5. And point U becomes positive 2, 2, because that negative 2 has to change signs. That's why I say opposite of instead of negative. So the opposite of negative 2 is 2. So now I'm going to plot these points. So Y is at negative 3, 4. So here's where Y goes to. K is at negative 3, 5. Oops, let's go back and undo where I wrote the Y. I'll write the Y here instead. K is at negative 3, 5. So here's K. B is at 0, 5. Right here. And then U is at 2, 2. Right here. It's U and that's B. So if I connect these, You'll see it looked like it did when I turned it. Not too hard. Again, you're just flipping your X and Y, and the first part of it changes signs. So let's try another one. What if we're doing 90 degrees clockwise? So 90 degrees clockwise, the rule is we go from X, Y to Y opposite X. So again, I'm just going to write down the points for these. So I have B, X, and N. B is currently at -4, 1. X is currently at -3, -2. And N is currently at -5, -4. So I'm going to change those. I'm going to flip them. So this becomes 1, 4, because the opposite of -4 is 4. This one becomes -2, 3, because the opposite of -3 is 3. And this one becomes -4, 5. So when I put those on here, I see the point 1, 4 is up here. The point -2, 3 is right here. And the point -4, 5 is right here. So this is the image of N, this is the image of X, and this is the image of B. Again, I just connect them. And I have my rotation. It looks like if I just turned it 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, let's try another. Okay, so when we rotate 180 degrees, first of all, you'll notice I don't tell you which direction. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter which way we go, we're going the exact same distance. In this case, it just becomes the opposite of X and the opposite of Y. So I have my points K, P, T, and Q. K is at -1, -1. P is at 0, -1. T is at 3, -2. And Q is at 0, -4. So all I'm going to do is change the signs. So K becomes 1, 1. P becomes 0, not negative. 0, 1. T becomes -3, 2. And Q becomes 0, 4. Remember, zeros don't change signs, so they don't have a sign. So when I plot these points, I plot the point 1, 1. I plot the point 0, 1. I plot the point -3, 2. And I plot the point 0, 4. And this is my rotation. Again, if you picked it up and checked, you flipped your upside down, you're going to end up with the exact same thing. Okay, last one. Again, we're going to rotate 180 degrees. But notice this one, all the points are in different quadrants, or sort of in different quadrants. They're all in different places. But we're going to do the exact same thing. It's still -X, -Y. So let's start by naming all of our points. We have P, F, K, and N. P is at 1, 4. F is at -4, 2. K is at 3, 0. And N is at -1, -2. Sorry. So those points are going to become -1. Ooh, wow. Let's try that again. -1, -4. 4, -2. -3, 0. And 1, 2. Okay, so let's plot these points. P goes to -1, -4, which is right here. F goes to 4, -2, which is right here. K goes to -3, 0, which is right here. And N goes to 1, 2, which is right here. So you notice the shape is sort of inside the other shape, but we have rotated it around. Okay, so go ahead and try your work, and I will see you in class.